Our last one for the Youth Arts Show. Thanks as always to Roast and Toast for providing our coffee and pastries. And to our visual arts sponsors, Comfort Keepers, without whom we wouldn't have the exhibitions to even have the programming around. This is our last one for this session. We'll start again on May 28th. Thank you, with our new visual arts director, Jennifer Cantley. So make sure you come back on May 28th for all of that. Today we're going to be talking with Nisa Kesseler, who is the Teen Services Librarian with the Petoskey District Library, which is right across the street, a wonderful resource for all of us. So without any ado, thank you, Nisa.
Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Nisa Kesseler, and I am the Teen Services Librarian across the street at the Petoskey District Library, and here to talk today about teens at the library and all of the things that we do with teens, why it's important to have space for teens that is dedicated to teens in the library, and the different programming materials and things that we offer for teens in our community. So no further ado. All right, this is me. Hello. I've worked at the Petoskey District Library since 2015, so it's been a minute. My background before working in the library was in secondary education, social studies, and ELA, English Language Arts. Working with teens, it's something I've wanted to do since I was a teen, so I am living the dream. And I often find teens to be a very misunderstood and often maligned group. People will say to me, how do you do that? How do you work with teens every day? I'm like, well, how do you do your job every day? Honestly, I love my job. And they say when you love what you do, it's not really work, right? It's just going and having a good time every single day. I really enjoy every aspect of working with teens, and even when they're pushing the boundaries, and they do, because that's what teens do. They are developmentally meant to do that. So yeah, we have a really great time over there. So Teenland, that's the teen desk. I often decorate it for whatever season it is. I just took down the spring chicks. We have a chicken hatch along every spring, and it's right across from my desk. So I get to see the little baby chicks hatch, and it's wonderful. But yeah, so I just took that down. I'm going to be putting up some stuff for summer reading. So very excited about that. We have a dedicated teen space. It is in the basement of the library. So it includes things like we have a doodle board, comfortable seating. So there's a couple couches, a bunch of chairs. There's 3 gaming computers, which are coveted. I've had adults look at them like, could we get these in the adult area? No. And the kids, oh my gosh, the kids from the children's area will come down, and sometimes I think they're going to cry when they find out they can't use them right now. But I try to say, hey, you're going to be in 7th grade soonish, and it'll be all yours at that point. So we also have a cart of board and card games available, and there's so many books. There's anime movies, there's video games. We have an AV cart with a big TV so they can play on the Switch or watch movies. Sometimes we put YouTube tutorials if they want to learn how to do a craft. So say they want to learn how to arm knit, we just did this. So we put up some tutorials from YouTube so they could see how to cast on and that kind of stuff using just your arms as your knitting needles, which was so much fun. So that's just some of the stuff that we have in the teen area to make it a welcoming space. So our goals in the teen department. Currently, there are 3 people in the teen department. There's myself, there's Nikki Russell, who is a teen and makerspace librarian. So they are also in charge of the makerspace, which if you've been to the library, the makerspace is delightful. It's full of all kinds of machines and materials and a lot of analog things you can do to create. That's the whole point of the makerspace, to create things and to explore different crafts, different things you can do to create. So that's Nikki's domain. And then there's teen librarian Johnny Kreider, and he works every Monday evening with the teens. So we all work together because we all really care about the teens. Johnny has a long background working with teens. Nikki's been working with teens with me for the past, I think, 6 years about. So our goals. Number one, we always want to have a welcoming space for our teen patrons. They often find when they are around town, they are welcome for a period of time, and then it's shoo. And I understand it. If you're a business, you need space for your customers, and teens often have limited funds. So they might be able to buy a cup of coffee or hot chocolate or something, and then, they can't really buy anything else, and they need that space for a customer. I get the push and pull with businesses, right? So we try to always have a space where they can come in, they don't have to pay anything, they could just hang out and be there as long as they want until we close, of course. We maintain a collection of materials that reflect the tastes and interests of our teen patrons. I am always talking to the teens, always, because how else do you find out what they like? That's the only way to do it. You listen to them, you talk to them. Oftentimes I'll just be shelving and straightening the shelves, and they're talking around me and I'm hearing all the things. So that's how we figure out exactly what it is they like. And they are not shy at this point about coming up and saying, hey, you really need this book. It's great, and everybody will love it. And they are usually very, very correct. And we also provide programming that will entertain, educate, and inspire our teen patrons. And we will talk about that some more. So we often talk about we want the library to be a third place, not just for teens, but for all of the community. So what is a third place? It's a social space, and the term was coined by sociologist Ray Oldenburg. It's a social space outside the usual spaces of home and work or school. So your first place is home, your second place is work or school. And then third place, that would be your third spot where you spend the majority of your social time. So that's what we are aiming for with the library. We want people in the community to feel welcome, to feel like they can come in anytime, go just grab a book off the shelf and plop down and read. You don't even have to check it out. You can just read it while you're there and just put it into the book return when you're done. It's, we also have a lot of other things. Like I said, the maker space is available. You come on in and you use the materials there. Very few of the materials there actually cost the patrons anything. The only things are like the buttons. They're 10 cents. 10 cents a button. It's not expensive, right? So that's what we're trying to accomplish with people, that they can come in, they can hang out, and they can create, they can read, they can just talk to each other, that sort of thing. So teens in third place. Teens need spaces where they can exist without having to purchase something, all right? As I said, teens have limited funds. Oftentimes after school, they have nowhere to go. And people are saying, well, we want teens to stay out of trouble and, find things to do. In the winter, especially here, that's challenging for these teens. It's like in the summertime, and in this like late spring and the fall, sometimes they'll go to the park, they'll go to playgrounds, they'll run around outside. In the wintertime, that's tough, all right? The schools up at the top of the hill do have a shuttle bus. It takes those teens right down to Central. So they don't even have to walk that far. I have had teens, like when there's a snow day, actually walk. I had a teen that lived in the apartments behind the middle school. And she walked through snowdrifts and everything to get to the library because she was bored at home. So, I love that she loved the library that much. But at the same time, I was like, wow, those jeans are soaked and you must be freezing. But that was her third place. That's where she wanted to be. So, as I said, businesses need space for customers. Winter can be tough. Libraries are social spaces where payment is not required. Climate is controlled for your comfort. AC in the summer, heat in the winter. It's delightful. Come on over. All right. So why do teens go to the library? Number one, it's free and fun. Free and fun is top of the list. We also work really hard to make it welcoming. When they come in, we greet them. So we're at the desk, group of teens comes in, we make sure that we see all of them, they see us, and that we say hello to them, because that's important. You need to acknowledge that they are there. For a lot of reasons. Number one, because they're people and you want them to feel like they're welcome there. But number two, you also want them to know you see them. So that's also very important for behavior. They also love the gaming computers and the Switch. Those are huge draws to the library. They can get a snack and hang out with friends. We have a snack basket for the teens. We also have a Keurig for the teens. The Keurig was a summer reading prize a few years back. So the way we do summer reading in the teen area is that when they turn in their passport bingo card, over the years it's been different things, they get to vote on a community prize. So there's not one big prize that they're competing for. They're all trying to get like a really cool prize that the teens can share. One year they voted for a Keurig. So we have a Keurig and they can get hot chocolate. They can get a little hazelnut latte, we have hot tea. We often will have little Capri Suns for kids who don't like hot beverages. There are kids who just, no matter what, they don't want a hot beverage. Could be sensitivity, whatever it is, doesn't matter. We have something for them. So they get one snack per day. I've had them try for more. It's like, nope, gotta have some for everyone. But they love that. They love that they can come after school, they can plop down, they can grab a snack and hang out with their friends. They also love the makerspace. I don't know if you know this, but our local teens, as you can see around this room, they are creative, very creative. And some of the things they make just blow my mind. I'm very impressed with them. We have a wall where they can hang their art after they've done it. And everybody walks by and they're like, wow, that's really cool. Who did that? It's like, I don't know, they didn't sign it, but it is really cool. So those are just some of the reasons why teens go to the library. All right, so welcoming space. That's me and Nikki. So we're the friendly teen librarians. And like I said, we talk to the teens. That is like after 3:30, when they start coming in, we can almost just turn off our computers because we are busy talking to teens, getting snacks for teens, straightening the teen area because, they don't normally straighten up after themselves. We're trying to get them to take more ownership of the space and clean up after themselves better. Some of them do, some of them not so much, because here's what happens. They get call from mom and dad. Mom and dad's outside right now. And they're like, I gotta go. It's like, oh man, you left a huge mess. So trying to get them to clean up after themselves. Hopefully they'll know around what time mom and dad are gonna come and get them. They can clean up after themselves. So we have the sofa and the gaming computers. That's just a little peek of our teen area right there. You can see through the stacks there's some of the computers. And then playing the video games, that's our big TV. And we have a Switch, and the Switch is super popular. We also have an old analog like Atari, which is really cool. It's one of those plug and play Ataris, and it has the games included. And so some of the teens, just for the retroness of it, will grab that and play that. All right, Gert the Goose. All right, this is our teen library mascot, our special edition. So we had a process. It was a process. The first part was determining what kind of mascot they wanted. It could be a gnome, it could be a giant stuffed puppy. We had a lot of contenders. Porch Goose won. So then we had a process to name the goose, and we called it Goose Madness. We had brackets for different names that they came up with. They like wrote down a ton of names. And so we put them in brackets. And I think we had 32 brackets at the start. There were a lot of names. I mean, one of one of them was Fyodor Dostoevsky. I was like, who is naming a goose after Dostoevsky? One of the teens wanted to. So there you go. But we ended up with good old Gert. So this is Gert in the summertime. Right now, Gert looks more like a French peasant because the teens took some fabric from the makerspace and they just kind of wrapped it around Gert and made like a little shawl and everything. I said, Gert looks like she's going to defend the barricade. But, she also has a little beret on. That's my fault. I was trying to crochet a beanie and I ran out of yarn. So it became a beret. And so, yeah, Gert's really quite fashionable right now. But they love Gert very much. I bring Gert a lot of times for outreach. I brought Gert to the high school when we did library card sign up, and they got to take a picture with Gert, and it was very popular. So that's Gert. Programs. So these are some of the ones that we do a lot. Teen Maker Thursday is every month, and we do it the third Thursday of the month, and that's just a creative program. We usually have some kind of craft that we're learning how to do, like arm knitting. This one that they were doing was nail polish plant pots. So what you do is you take a bin of water and you just kind of sprinkle some nail polish on the surface, maybe swirl it around, and then you dunk the pot in there. And it creates really cool patterns, as you can see on some of those pots. They had a blast. We did that one outside. Usually if it's super messy, I'll take it outside. Unless it's really cold or rainy, and then I just get tarps and we do it in the makerspace and still have fun. Teen STEAM is also every month. It is the third Tuesday of the month. In this picture, we were making a comet. So if you go to the Griffith Observatory website, they have the recipe to make a comet. And I learned about that many years ago. I actually went to the Griffith Observatory and they had all the stuff and they did a whole presentation on it and how for life, the necessary ingredients for life is schnapps. And I was like, I always remembered that, but it just stands for the different elements. But I was like, oh, schnapps, okay. But Teen STEAM, it's different, science, technology. It's a lot of different things that we're doing. So I lean heavily into physics and astronomy because that's my favorite science. But we've done chemistry stuff we did a tween STEAM where we had donuts. We talked about donuts and how those are made with yeast or cake donuts, that sort of thing, and the whole process of that. So we do a lot of really cool things. We just did water cycle bracelets. So they could learn about the water cycle and make cool beaded bracelets at the same time. So that's Teen STEAM. And then the Alice in Wonderland Tea Party. I should have just put summer party. Usually the teens will plan their own summer party. That summer they planned Alice in Wonderland, where they could dress up if they wanted to, and they all wanted to. They were like, yes, we are dressing up. So there was a lot of cool games involved having to do with finding white rabbits and things. There were a lot of snacks, and it was a good time had by all. And yeah, I love the Alice in Wonderland party. More programs that we do, more things that we do. Banned Books Week every year, end of September, beginning of October. We usually have displays in the library and we've been doing this since I've worked there. Basically books that not just in the United States, but around the world have been challenged for various reasons. There's Meet the Sun. As I said, I'm really into astronomy and things like that. And I'm actually a NASA Partner Eclipse ambassador. So I got all of these materials from the Library of Michigan to do sun programming. Those binoculars are called sinoculars, and you can look at the sun with them. It's very cool. So like if there's a lot of solar activity, a lot of solar flares going on, that sort of thing, solar eruptions, you can see them with those, and it's very cool. That's Nikki when we did NASA at my library, 4th of July. She got to carry the black hole. So we had a whole float that was all just space stuff. It was very cool. The zombie apocalypse party. My makeup is pretty awesome. I will say my daughter did that for us. She's a theater kid. So she will come with her liquid latex, which I can't, there's no liquid latex on me because I'm allergic, but the kids love getting really gnarly looking wounds and everything for the zombie apocalypse party. There's some teens that came to the library and wanted to work on their flags and things for Pride Month. So they came to the library to do that. And this is me and Johnny during Motown Monday. So for Black History Month, we did Motown Mondays. So every Monday you come down to the teen space, we'd be playing Motown music. We would be focusing on different artists. We'd have all kinds of facts about them. And we had our Soul Train background. So you could take a picture. That's just me and Johnny hanging out, having fun. It was a very fun program, and people really enjoyed it, especially who doesn't like Motown music? It's just fun music. So that's just some of the stuff that we do. Summer reading. So every summer, we have a summer reading program. So last year, we started an all ages program. So we used to do bingo cards for the different age groups. You had a bingo card for the kids, you had a bingo card for the teens, and you had a bingo card for the adults. Now we just have a booklet. It's a little booklet. It's full of activities based on different themes, right? You don't have to do, people thought last year various things like you had to do one from each theme. You don't have to do that, all right? There's, I think there's 24 different things that you can do in this activity booklet that are community-based, library-based. Not all of them are just library-based. A lot of it is trying to get people to get out in the community and explore. You have to 6 things for a mini prize, and then 12 for the big prize, which for teens is a book of their choice. And that's also kids and teens, book of their choice. Adults, their mini prize, I believe it's a pretzel from the pretzel company. You get a little card to get a free pretzel. And then for your big prize, you get put into a drawing for, I believe it's a McLean and Aiken gift card. So you can go and get your book that you want. So that's summer reading. We kick off on June 5th this year. It's Friday, June 5th. At the library, we are having a mestival. And yes, that is as much fun as it sounds. We're going to be making messes. I volunteered to get pied over and over. I can't wait. Everybody's like, you're crazy. I'm like, I'm excited. We were going to do a dunk tank and I wanted to be in that. I was like, dunk me, please. So I'm trying to work on my trash talk to get them real excited to put a pie in my face. So I tried it with Val, our director, yesterday. She's like, you really need to work. So I'm gonna like watch some old Larry Bird or something and really learn trash talk. If you don't know who Larry Bird is, you should check him out. He was the king of trash talk. So that's going on June 5th. It'll be right across the street and it'll be so much fun. And it's for all ages. Seasonal teen book bundles. One of the things we do is for fall, spring, and winter, not summer, because summer is too busy, we have book bundles. And they're based around a YA book, different genres. We've had romance, we've had mystery thriller, we've had fantasy, sci-fi, all kinds of different genres. The idea is to help teens build their own personal library with a variety of books. And each book bundle has a book, has a snack, and it has a craft that's based on the book. So those are pretty popular. We have, I would say there's about 10 teens that register every single time. There's some teens that register based on what the book is. It's like, romance tends to be very popular with the teen girls and not, I had one boy sign up for that one. It was like, yay, you, good for you. And sci-fi tends to bring the boys. They want those sci-fi books. But the idea is I'm hoping to expose the teens to a lot of different genres. The teen think tank is my favorite thing. Used to be the teen advisory board. We kind of switched it up, made it a little more informal. So it's a way for teens to get involved in the library and to help them determine the future programming, the materials, space renovations. We have a little nook there that we have been talking for the past few months about redoing. Right now it has a high top table and high chairs and that kind of thing, and stools. And they want a space that's more relaxed, maybe some more floor type seating, bean bags maybe, that kind of thing. There's no direct lighting in that nook. There's all of the lighting down there, so it's not dark, but there's no direct overhead lighting. So they were hoping for things like fairy lights, that kind of thing. So we're talking about it. So once we get an idea of exactly what we want, then that's when I go looking for money to get what they want. So that's coming up. They meet quarterly. Their next meeting is June 2nd, I believe. 1st or 2nd, I can't remember the exact date. I think it's the 2nd. They get pizza for their trouble. So I order a pizza. They eat. We talk about the library. It is because of this group that we have video games at the library. That was many years ago. And at that time, the group was dominated by young boys who were sick and tired of the late fees from Family Video, if you remember Family Video. And they were like, it would be really cool if you guys have video games we could check out. So I talked to the director. The director was like, we can do that. And we actually started a video game collection, very popular. It was in the teen area. Adults would be coming, kids would be coming, everybody wanted the video game. So I talked to my colleagues in children's and an adult, and they agreed, yes, we should have video games. So now we have video games on all 3 levels of the library. And you can thank it was teen advisory board at the time, but that's what they do. They come up with things to make the library even better. Grants and committees, things that I've done, oh my gosh, all to try and bring things to the library for our teens and all of our patrons. So my first venture into committee work outside of the library was the Michigan Library Association's Thumbs Up Award. That was in 2017 and 2018. That year's winner was The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. We read a lot of books. We read over 150 books. It was crazy, but it was very rewarding. And we came up with a pretty awesome list of books for the kids. Future Ready with the Library. That one was through the Young Adult Library Services Association, which is part of the American Library Association. It was to find ways to assist teens to explore their own interests and how to turn those interests into a career path, right? So kids who are interested in music and video games, did you know you can make music for video games? How cool is that? And exploring the different technology that is used to do that. That's just one example. There were a lot of things that we explored. NASA at My Library. We did that in 2021 and 2022. That was through the American Library Association, the Space Science Institute, the Lunar and Planetary Institute, and NASA's Science Mission Directorate. It was to enhance STEAM education. We were focused very much on the James Webb Space Telescope. We had a program at the library, big program in the summer for when we were getting those first images called Time Travel with Tacos and Telescopes. And we had Jose's brought tacos. It was great. We had a subject matter expert from U of M come up, and he had all of these images, these first images. And he was describing what we were looking at, and it was really, really cool. That was a very fun program. We really enjoyed it. Well, I told you before, I love space. Space is my thing. So I was very excited to be a part of that. Wonder Media, that is a Library of Michigan initiative. And it was taking an exhibit from this is a museum in Kalamazoo and using it to create a teaching tool for media literacy for libraries and schools throughout the state. So myself and my colleague, Megan Goage, were part of that cohort. Excellence in Nonfiction for Young Adults, that was this past year I did that. I read a lot of books. So we read over 100 books to come up with our winners for the Excellence in Nonfiction. Graphic Novel Comics Roundtable Award, that's a brand new award. Graphic Novel Comics Roundtable is with the American Library Association. So we read over 120 books, graphic novels for that. And it was to recognize the outstanding contribution of graphic novels and comics to our literary spaces. They are getting really good. If you have not checked out a graphic novel, I highly recommend it. It works so many different parts of your brain than just text alone. And so the storytelling with graphic novels is really amazing. Stories of Exile, that was another grant. That was through the Yiddish Book Center and the American Library Association. And I did this as an all ages program. So teens and adults. It wasn't really appropriate for little kids because those books were, they were tough. They were about, a lot of them, like I said, the Yiddish Book Center had 3 books that they gave everyone that were about the Jewish diaspora in exile. So some of it had to do with the Holocaust, some of it had to do with the Soviet Union and being sent to Gulag, that sort of thing. But the idea was that we were to tie it to our local community as well by finding a book about another group in exile, so to speak. So we ended up doing a book by an Indigenous author. So that was a really wonderful program. It actually was right after we had the Americans in the Holocaust exhibit at the library. So it fit real nicely with what we were doing that year. NASA Partner Eclipse Ambassador, that's me. So did a lot of training with the Astronomical Society of the Pacific, NASA, and the Space Science Institute, so that I could offer programming around the April 2024 solar eclipse. And that was fun. I don't know if you guys checked that out. It was great. We got so many eclipse classes too, but we got so many, we had like, I think 1,200 to give out. We still ran out. So it was kind of crazy. So we were like having families, please share, share. Sharing is caring. Right now, we're working on the next chapter library intern program. And today I am actually interviewing yet another teen for that program. It's the first time we've done it. We're gonna have a paid teen intern this summer. And the idea is that we want to get that next generation of library workers, right? People who are interested in working in libraries and expose them to all the different ways you can work in a library, because there are so many. And a lot of people don't know that, but there are so many. Outreach and partners, oh, that's me and Megan. Halloween, Megan makes the best Halloween costumes. So that was from, I think it's the book with no pictures. It's like a picture book with no pictures. It's great. So she took a couple of pages from it and created our costumes. That's one of the things we do is we participate in the downtown Halloween trick-or-treat. I go to Petoskey High School a lot. Went there last week to do book tastings for National Library Week. I go there to do library card sign up as well. Did that in September, brought Gert. Everyone had pictures taken. It was wonderful. I am going throughout May to talk to different classes about summer reading as well. I do that every single year. And I do that not only at Petoskey High School, but also at Concord and at Petoskey Middle School. And Megan does that at the elementary schools. Stories Told was a program that we did not this past year, but last year. And that was with Crooked Tree and with Great Lakes Center for the Arts. That's right. Great Lakes Center for the Arts and the Harbor Springs Festival of the Book. I believe that was all our partners. And that was great and fun. We had some really awesome programming and some great books for the kids. The C.S. Lewis Festival, I've worked with them in the past on a writing contest that they would do. That was a lot of fun working with those folks as well. The Great Michigan Read, we've done that a few times. The last time I was directly involved was when the read was a YA book. It was, well, they did Firekeeper's Daughter, but the one before that was X, a novel about Malcolm X growing up. And we had the author, Kekla Magoon, and she actually came here. We had the program over in the stage over there because we needed a bigger space for an awesome author like her. So yeah, a lot of great things happening with our partners and with outreach. Teen collections, what do we got going on? We've got young adult fiction, a lot of different genres of young adult fiction. Like I mentioned before, you've got your realistic fiction, you've got your fantasy, you got your dystopia, you got your science fiction, you got your romance. A lot of, the past 5 years, I would say, a lot of novels in verse, a lot of those, which are very popular with the teens. Anime and manga. We have an anime collection and a manga collection. If you're not familiar with manga, it can be a little challenging for people at first because you read it from what we would consider the back of the book. That's where they start it. So you go that way as opposed to that way. But it is hugely popular with the teens. They love manga. Video games. We have PS4 and PS5 games, Xbox games, we've got Switch, and we've got Wii. So we got all kinds of games. We just started a teen library of things. It's got a telescope, it's got a calligraphy kit, we just got 3 ukuleles, it's got D&D Dungeons and Dragons campaign cases. We have a Casio graphing calculator, a lot of things for teens that they can check out and use. Young adult nonfiction. Oftentimes, adults think that our nonfiction collection exists for teens to do research. That's not how they research anymore. They go online, they Google it. I try to encourage them to use MEL, which is the Michigan E-Library. Fantastic resources on there. All kinds of peer-reviewed articles, the kinds of things you need for actual research, right? So what they're using nonfiction for is really narrative nonfiction. A lot of times they'll read, like if you've read Unbroken, that's a popular one. It's a narrative nonfiction about World War II and what happened to this specific person. There's biographies that are very popular, things like that. The dry research kind of things where you have like whole sets about diseases. Yeah, those don't go out at all. Teens do not care about that at all. So yeah, it leans heavily into teen interest because, as I said before, we try to curate our collection for the interests of our teens in the area. And they're not coming there to research, unfortunately. I wish they would, but they don't. Young adult graphic novels. Besides the manga, we have a huge graphic novel collection, your Marvel, your DC, and then your one-offs. Very popular as well. Graphic novels are hugely popular with teens and adults and kids, all ages love graphic novels these days. Teen services. We have a PHS delivery service. So every Tuesday, I bring books to the high school. And if they have books returned, I bring them back from the high school. It's a way to enable students to get their materials without having to necessarily come down to the library. If they don't have transportation, for instance, then they can just get them at the media center at the high school. The media aide there, Kelly Belsky, shout out to her, she's wonderful. We work with her and she actually has library cards that she can give them right there that already they work, they can check things out, and she has them fill out the registration form, which I bring back to the library, and it gets entered into the system. So it's a really good service that we offer, and I love to see teens using it, that's for sure. Digital resources and e-library. So many resources available in digital formats. I just talked about Mel. It's a great resource for teens and teachers and adults. If you are interested in, for instance, playing the stock market, things like that. There's a lot of resources there for that. So digital applications that we have that the teens really like are Libby. Libby is our ebooks and audiobooks. They love it. Hoopla has a little more. It's got ebooks, e-audiobooks, movies, TV shows, graphic novels, music, all kinds of things on Hoopla that they can check out. And it's consecutive use. So Libby is one user, one copy, one user. Basically, if it's checked out, it's just like a book in the library. You can't check it out till they return it, right? Hoopla is not like that. Everyone can check out the same book at the same time. It's called consecutive, or concurrent use, not consecutive. All right. So that's Hoopla. Mango Languages. If you're interested in learning a language, I highly recommend Mango Languages because number one, it's free with your library card, and it's also just better than a lot of the ones you pay for. I've used them. I am a person, I love learning languages, and I use Mango because I used to use Duolingo, things like that. And Mango it was just a better interface, and the teens really do enjoy that. So, all right. So, if you have any questions, I would be happy. Yes.
Mention something about buttons. So what do they do with buttons?
Oh, the button maker? Honestly, yeah, like a pin, yeah. We have a 1-inch, a 2-inch, and a 3-inch. So we have all ages use it. We've had some of the service organizations come in and make 50 of the buttons for, name tags, for instance, that kind of thing. Had some high school students come in, one that wanted to make 300 buttons, and it was for youth and government because they go down and they campaign for, to get voted different positions in youth and government. And these were campaign aids. So they were like, vote for whoever, And so they were making tons of buttons for that. Most of the time, I just have some kids after school and they're like doodling and they just want to make a button out of it. So that's usually how they are used, either campaigning or just because they think they're cool and fun. Any other questions? Yes. Yeah.
What kind of snacks do you have?
Okay, so usually I try to keep it on the healthy side. I had apples this week. I also have granola bars. I will get the fruit snacks, the little pouch of fruit snacks. Some kids prefer something savory, so I have some Chex Mix. I have everything individual bags because COVID taught me. So basically everything is individually packaged. Sometimes it's Cheez-Its, because there are kids that just don't like sweet stuff, and apples are sweet. Things like that are sweet. I've had bananas. When in season, I like to use the cuties. They love cuties. They're small and they're just the perfect size. So yeah, that's usually what the snacks are. I have had people come in and donate snacks. Like I had the lovely owner of the Petoskey Pretzel Company came and donated snacks for our SAT group. And there were too many pretzels. So obviously the rest of the teens got to enjoy them as well. But sometimes people will come and I've done pretzels as well. Pretzels are not too messy. So I try also to make sure it's not stuff that has powder all over it so that it gets on the books or on the games, that sort of thing. So yeah, I do try to keep it on the healthier side, not total junk, not candy, no candy. Except Halloween. Halloween, they get candy. They do get it for Halloween, but that's it. Any other questions? Good question. So it was a 4-H project, and the 4-H kids took them home. But if you want to see them again, they will be at the Emmett County Fair. They will be in this small animal barn, and they usually put up a sign, "We hatched at the library." So you can find their cute little library chicks there. And they were very cute this year. Oh, so there were some silkies, and they were adorable. So I also like what are they, the little bantams? They're cute. They're very small. They're very cute. Any other questions, you guys? You can also ask me about any other part of the library too. So I know more than teens. If you have.
Yeah, space for the older.
Okay, so basically, you have the upper level where reference is, and that's where the adult computers are. So that space is for adults. Teens and kids are not supposed to be up there to use those computers because they have computers in their own space. That space is a quiet space. So, and a lot of times that's what adults want, just a quiet space. There's a lot of comfortable chairs up there that you can just hang out in. If you want to hang out with friends and just chat, we actually have some seating on the first floor, couches. We have like this really cute curvy couch that you can just plop down, talk with your friends, hang out. You're allowed to have beverages as long as it has a lid. So that's our rule. Just gotta have a lid. That's it. But oh yes, yes. Okay, so there's a program that I'm not as familiar with, but it's for adults from like 25 to 40, and it is there just for them to meet each other and play games, do fun things together. That's a age group that we've kind of struggled to bring into the library. A lot of times it's because, they're starting their families and they want to be home with their family after work, or they just moved to the area and they don't know anybody and they're feeling shy. So we're trying to make it as welcoming as we can. And because of the library building hours, we have it over at the Carnegie building so that they can meet later, because the library building across the street closes at 7. So this way they can stay later, play games, have all kinds of snacks. I've heard it's a lot of fun. I have not gone because it's not my age group. I'm a little too old for it. But I do know the people who run it, and they're not library staff. They're people from the community that wanted this. And so, and they have a blast doing it. So yeah, that's a great program. We do a lot of things also with older folks in the community. We have a lot of programs that are centered that way. Mary Sue teaches tech classes for older folks, like Excel, Word, all that kind of stuff. And she does one-on-one appointments with people, which if you ever have a tech issue, Mary Sue is your gal. She's great. We also have like card making programs if you want to do something crafty. And of course, all patrons are always welcome to come down to the makerspace. I've had groups of ladies come down and they're down there making all kinds of stuff. I've had them pull out the button maker and just make cute little buttons. Also, there's Mahjong. They meet weekly, so you can play Mahjong together, which is a fun game if I can ever truly figure it out. And yeah, things like that. We try to accommodate all age groups and make sure they're all welcome. Yes.
More about the makerspace.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I sewing machine.
We used to have sewing machines, but nobody ever used them. So we actually moved those upstairs to the Library of Things, the adult Library of Things. So you can actually check out a sewing machine. We did used to have them down there, just nobody ever used them. We were really sad about it. But we do have, it's so funny. We have a fabric bin and we've got like a little sewing bin. And yeah, we'll have teens just sit there with a needle and thread and sew things like that way. They never wanted to touch the sewing machine though. They're like, But we had a serger as well. And I think that's also upstairs in the Library of Things. Yeah. Other things in the makerspace, we've got digitization equipment. So if you have some old photographs, some old film, some old VHS, you can digitize all of that at the library. We have a 3D printer. I love our 3D printer so much. 3D printing, you have to be 13 or older. If you're under 13, you can get certified with your adult. And then once you're 13, you don't have to use your adult anymore. But the 3D printing is so much fun. I love it. It's great. What else do we have? We have the button makers. We've got a scrapbooking bin if you like to scrapbook. We've got a beading bin if you like to make things with beads. I'm trying to remember all the things. We got a yarn one so you can crochet or knit. We've got knitting needles and crochet hooks in there.
What is the age, like age, your age restriction?
There are the makerspace. You need to be 13 or older to use it alone. Now, younger kids can use it with their adult. So if you got your kids with you and you guys want to come down and make something, that is absolutely fine. It's just, especially after school, it gets really chaotic down there with all the teens, and we can't keep our eye on them. And there are sharp things there. There's scissors, there's X-Acto knives. There's the button makers are so heavy. So if they drop that on their foot, they're going to break the poor little foot. So there's a lot of things there that can hurt a kid. So we just want to make sure that they have an adult supervising them, making sure they don't get hurt. And hot glue also. I've hurt myself with the hot glue. So it's like, I do not want some little kid to get burned by the hot glue. So, yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. So the young writers, that got handed off to us from Crooked Tree. We're going to actually start doing that next year. So we're going to send information starting in September to the local homeschool groups and the schools. We did have to limit it to Emmett County because you guys have a much larger area that you serve. And we do not. It's like technically our service area is the city of Petoskey and the 4 surrounding townships, but we are opening it to the entirety of Emmett County so that all the schools in Emmett County can participate and all the homeschools in Emmett County can participate. But yeah, we've already talked to some of the sponsors and we're really excited to get that going. We think we're going to probably bring back the poetry aspect of it, so you'll have awards for prose and awards for poetry. And we're looking at the age groups, the elementary, middle school, high school again. But we'll send out that information in September, and the actual contest will be in the spring, well, late winter and spring. Because we want teachers to have an opportunity to adjust their curriculum or add it to, that sort of thing. All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
All right. Well,